My name is John Lamera with Direct International Marketing. We're a subsidiary of Get Funded First. In today's segment, we're going to be talking about goal setting. Goal setting is extremely important in life, no matter if it's relationships, your career, or whatever. And the reason why goals have to be written down is because there's two people you can't lie to. Everybody knows about the man upstairs, and you can't lie to that person in the mirror. But there's three things that you have to do in life first. And let me explain these three things. If anybody tells you anything different, they're wrong, I promise you. Tell them I said so. Okay, the three things you need to make a decision on first is, what are you going to live your life for? What are you going to live your life in? And who are you going to live your life with? Let me repeat that. What are you going to live your life for? What are you going to live your life in? And who are you going to live your life with? 98% of the American public makes under $100,000 a year. And why is that? Because there's not opportunity out there? That's not true. There's plenty of opportunity. It's just like everybody that got in the ring with Mike Tyson. They knew they were going to get knocked out. They just didn't know what round. That's how people are. People just accept. They stay in that little comfortable box because it's warm, it's cozy, it's comfortable. It's not scary. They go to work the same way every single day for 30, 35 years. It's not really the job they wanted, but it's good enough. This is really not the house I wanted, but it's good enough. This is really not, the marriage I thought of. This is how I wanted my kids to turn out. I didn't want them to go to junior college. People just accept it. And what they end up doing is going to their grave with the music still playing in them. And I think that's wrong. So anybody that is within this organization or that is watching this video, I want you to take this seriously because it can change your life. I know it changed my life. There's something that all of us, people in this room, people that are listening and watching this video right now, that we all have in common. God gave us 168 hours a week. We have that in common, okay? There's another thing that we have in common, that those of you that don't even know me, I know something about you, and you should know something about me. It's that first bicycle. I want you to go back and remember that first bicycle. You would talk to your mom about it every day, your dad, your friends' parents. You talked to everybody until you got that bicycle. So when you write down the goals, and I'm going to teach everybody how to do this, and it's foolproof. It works every single time if you follow it. Okay? It's like right now. If I was to hand anybody watching this video 5 darts, and I said, let's play darts, what would be the first thing you would ask me? You would ask me, where's the dartboard? Life is the same way. You can't go through life with darts in your hand and not a target. You have to have a target. You have to have something, and you have to write it down. So what I want everybody to do is to take out a clean piece of paper. You don't have to do it now. You can do it later. But you want to have some quiet time and write your name at the top of that piece of paper. Write your full name, John L. Lamera. Write the date. And then you're going to have 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. And I don't want you to write down anything on this piece of paper unless you want it that bad. It has to be as bad as you wanted that first bicycle. I want you to go back and remember that, because we all have that in common. Every single person watching this tape, every single person watching this video and listening to my voice all over the world, we have that in common. We wanted that bicycle, and we ended up getting it. No matter what age you were, female, male, black, white, tall, skinny, fat, whatever, we always got that bicycle. And if you write down anything on this piece of paper that you didn't want that bad, you're never going to get it. So if you put down, I want $100 million, I want a Lamborghini, purple, green, and red, things that are not realistic unless you really want those things. If you want those things as bad as you wanted that first bicycle, then write them down. It doesn't have to be monetary things. It doesn't have to be things that are necessarily cost money. The person that said money can't buy you happiness had to have been broke, okay? Money can't buy you happiness, but it makes a darn good down payment. Money can't buy you love, but it puts you in a better negotiation position. Anybody that said, money is cold, hard cash, I guess they never laid on $10,000 in $100 bills, because they're warm and they're soft and they're cozy. So money's not everything. It's not, okay? I've done this in my life probably 6, 7 times. And I'll never forget the first time that I did it. I hit all my goals at 3 years within 19 months. And I can remember my wife at the time, on a Saturday afternoon, I'll never forget it. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was watching Wild Kingdom. It didn't have any sound to it. It was just lions and gazelles, and it was about nature. It didn't have any sounds except the sounds of the animals. And I was sitting there watching it, and I wasn't really watching. I wasn't really paying attention. And that's not something I would watch on a Saturday afternoon. Now, keep in mind, I was 25 years old. I was making $40,000 a month. I was working for a solar company in California. I was ended up being the regional manager. Had a beautiful house in Diamond Bar Country Club Estates, which that was the name of the city, Diamond Bar. I had 5 cars, 2 boats, 3 quad racers, and 2 jet skis. I had more toys than I had time. And I never had a beautiful house. This is 1984. Yeah, I'm that old. I know I don't look it. But yes, it was 1984. And the house then was $450,000. I think that house now is probably worth $8 million. But I never forget what my wife had said to me at that time. She said, "Something's wrong with you. Something's not right. You just don't seem happy." And these goals, what you need to do with them once you get them written down, and remember, there has to be things that you want as bad as that first bicycle. You want to fold these up and you want to put them in a Ziploc plastic bag in your front pocket. And I'll tell you the reason why, okay? Because goals don't go in a straight line. You don't just set goals and, oh yeah, you just hit them in the timeline, okay? There's going to be days that you're frustrated. There's going to be days that you want to throw in the towel. There's going to be days that Mike Tyson, hits you and you say, "You know what, I'm going to go ahead and lay down on the mat." Don't do that, okay? Pull out your goals and look at them, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I can remember what she said, something's wrong, and I started thinking about it, and I thought, let me pull out my goals. And I realized that all the things I'd written down for the 3 years I hit within 18 months. And she had said to me, she said, "You need to make a goal to change somebody else's life." And I said, "I've changed plenty of people's lives. I had 9 offices. I had 10 salespeople per office. It was a big organization, and I built it with a lot of people. We were doing $1 million a week in Southern California." But she had said, "Why don't you take a bum and turn him into the #1 salesperson in the company?" I said, "What do you mean a bum?" Long story short, it was her ex-boyfriend's brother, and he was living underneath a mobile home. I don't want to say his name until I get his permission, but I went up and met him in Northern California. I offered him $500 to come down to Southern California. He had a Pinto that burned more oil than it did gas. I offered him to stay with me in my house, and I would take care of him, food, clothing. I'd buy him a car. When he got down there, I bought him a $5,000 car. I bought him $2,000 worth of clothes. And that year, he was the #1 salesman in the company. To this day, he's a very, very successful real estate agent in San Francisco. And he was living underneath a mobile home. The people that owned the mobile home didn't even know he was living there. He had a little 9-inch black and white TV that he was taking the power from that TV. And he was a janitor at 24 Hour Nautilus. That's what it was called back in the day. A night janitor. So the people, when they were at work during the day, he was sleeping at night. He went to work. But this is what I showed him. Okay, I showed him how to do this, and he was #1. So whatever you write down, like I said, it doesn't have to be monetary. But before you do this, you've got to say to yourself, what are those 3 things? Let me repeat it again. What are you going to live your life for? Who are you going to live your life with? And what are you going to live your life in? Let me clarify that so everybody understands what I'm talking about. Who do you want to live your life with? Well, that's pretty easy. What type of person? You can do the Ben Franklin close on yourself. This is a psychologist told me this one time. You take out a piece of paper and you put things that I have to have in a relationship and things I'd like to have in a relationship and draw a line in the middle. And things that are non-negotiable over here, things are negotiable. Well, you can do a Ben Franklin on yourself. The reason why they call it a Ben Franklin close is that's how Ben Franklin made his decisions. He didn't want to make his decisions emotionally. So you have to make a decision. What type of person? You can do a Ben Franklin on yourself. What type of person do you want to live with? Non-negotiable. Negotiable. Same thing with what do you want to live your life for? What's going to make you happy? You've all heard the saying before, and I know you've heard it because I've heard it 1,000 times. If you fall in love with what you're doing, you never worked a day in your life. I love what I'm doing. I love helping people. Who said that? Zig Ziglar. Helping other people get what they want, and you will get what you want. So make sure that your goals are not just about you. Make sure that they're about everything in your life. And then for me, for example, I lost 100 pounds 3 years ago, and I set a goal that I was going to hire a nutritionist, and I was going to lose 100 pounds, and I was going to start working out every day, and I was going to get healthy and eat right, and I did it. And guess what? I got off of it. You can tell I need to lose another 20, 30 pounds. But I set more goals, okay? Goals are very, 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 very important. But again, let me make sure that everybody understands this. They have to be things that you want so bad, like that first bicycle. You got to taste it on the tip of your tongue. I'm going to tell you another secret. Don't ever tell anybody. I'm going to tell you why. This is a sad story. Nobody wants you to be successful. The reason why they don't want you to be successful is that it makes them look bad. So if you go out and take that piece of paper and start showing it to all your friends, and they don't have goals and aspirations and dreams like you, what do you think they're going to say? Oh, you can't do that. You know, how many times that happened to you when you went out and bought a dress, or you bought a coat, or you got a good deal on some shoes, or you gentlemen bought a car, or bought a motorcycle or something, and you wouldn't told you. And the first, what do they say? Oh, well, what'd you pay for that? I could have got it cheaper. You know, you're best to keep those things to yourself. Unless it's somebody that, unless it's your wife you've been married to 10, 15, 20 years. And sometimes I didn't even discuss it with my wife because she had a totally different life than me. But those goals are extremely important. And remember this, are you going to go through life with those darts in your hand without knowing where the board is, without having a target? Imagine a football team that didn't have a goal, didn't have the yards, didn't have the finish line. Imagine a baseball game without, 4 plates. First, second, third, fourth, and home, or first, second, third, and home plate. Imagine playing baseball without a bat. You're going to hit the ball with your hand out of the park. I mean, in life is the same thing as anything else. Heaven and hell, it's right here on earth. It's whatever you decide to make it. But don't go to your grave with the music still playing in you. I have met so many people, and as I get older, friends have passed away and family members have passed away, and I've known a lot of them that went to their grave with the music still playing in them. Challenge yourself. See what you can do. Don't be like all those people that got in the ring with Mike Tyson. They knew they was going to get knocked out. They just didn't know what round. Get out of that comfort zone. Get out of that box. Yeah, is it going to be scary? When you take your foot outside of that comfort zone, you tip your toe in that water and it's cold? Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be scary. But what's worse? Going through life frustrated and not being part of that 98% of the people? Think about that. 98% of the people make less than $100,000 a year. And it's not because not opportunities out there. The opportunity's there. The opportunity is here at this company. At Get Funded First and Direct International Marketing, we've got opportunity. I've lived off of overrides my whole life. Never had a salary in my life. And you got to make a decision. You help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. Don't make your goals all about you. And here's the last thing I'm going to suggest to you, okay? Once you make these goals, whatever is monetary in there, okay? You can put, lose weight, you can eat healthier or whatever. You can put all those, but whatever's monetary, you want to buy a certain car, you want to buy a certain house, you go test ride that car. Go get in that car, go test ride that, get a brochure, hang those pictures. You got to make it reality. It has to be part of your life. And now I think you can understand when I say don't put anything on this piece of paper unless it burns you up. You have to have it tasted right at the tip of your tongue where it's driving you completely crazy. Because if you went right down, I want to buy a 747, I want to 2 Lamborghinis, and you really don't want that stuff, it's not gonna work. Remember, the secret to this is everything that you want in life as bad as you wanted that first bicycle. Because I don't care what country you're in right now, what language you speak that you're listening to this in, every single person got that first bicycle. I promise you did. So make sure all those things are in line. Make sure you think about those 3 things. What do you want to live your life for? Who are you going to live your life with? And what are you going to live your life in? Thank you for another segment from Direct International Marketing, the consulting company of the future.